Hey there everyone, Tom here. Welcome back to Forza Horizon 4. We're in one of my dream cars right now, and we're going to be doing the British Racing Green in today's video. So it's probably going to be a long one, so sit down, grab, have a nice little rest, lay back in your chair, lay back on your bed, whatever you're doing.
Great to see you.
And let's get into it.
We're shooting a documentary about car culture in the UK, and I need a second driver. You've made a name for yourself, and it would be great to have you aboard. It's simple. You drive, I tell the story. Let's do it. From Aston Martin to McLaren and Bentley, Great Britain is home to over a century of automotive excellence. I'm Rebecca Dawson. Welcome to British Racing Green, a documentary celebrating that history.
Okay, so it's a documentary we're filming.
The Aston Martin DB5 Vantage was the quintessential Grand Tourer of the 1960s, combining British engineering and Italian design.
Does look pretty nice. I like the pops.
The Vantage featured side-draft carburetors and a refined camshaft profile, capable of a blistering top speed of 162 miles an hour in 1964. The clean
Ain't got no
lines of
power steering though.
Superleggera's bodywork, reclining seats and wool carpets created a car that was luxurious as well as fast. This car would form the basis for the DB range, with later cars improving on the design in many ways. But none would ever achieve the sheer, iconic perfection of the Vantage.
In 200 yards, turn left, turn left.
For all of its beauty and engineering perfection, only 65 of these beautiful machines would ever be built. If you own one, you own a piece of British history.
I want to own one of these. Honestly, I do.
In 200 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Wait. If 65 were made, how many do you think
The
James
silver
Bond broke?
DB5 would be immortalized in half a century of cinema. The classic Aston Martin. But in 2016, a new DB was unveiled, heralding the dawn of Aston Martin's second century. The DB11 is the first production turbocharged Aston Martin, but is it a worthy successor to that legacy?
It does look nice though. Oh no, it doesn't. The back doesn't look very
The
nice.
short answer is yes. It's bold, responsive, and agile, with perhaps the best GT chassis in the
Just
world.
hit 100.
And
Oh, that's
listen
easy.
to it. Able to hit 60 miles an hour in 3.5 seconds, the DB11's 5.2-litre twin-turbo V12 boasts a top speed of over 200 miles an hour.
Yeah, but I have to stay at 100 for a mile, 3 miles. Oh my god, this really is testing my driving skills in this game.
The DB11 is not the fastest car in the world, but then it's not trying to be. It's sophisticated, effortless luxury. It's an Aston Martin. The DB11's front strakes channel air to create a virtual spoiler, providing downforce without compromising the car's clean lines. Brilliant.
We keep losing track of where we're going.
Most importantly, I think, the DB11 proves that Aston Martin is ready for another century of beautiful cars. And I can't wait.
I can't wait either.
Beautiful as they are, Aston Martins are only one of many cars made in the United Kingdom. Let's see what else is out there.
This is randomly dabbed. Again, would have preferred a car or some money. Hey, look, a Lego DLC. Right. Let's jump into the second. We're doing every single chapter. That's why I said sit down and grab your popcorn, because these videos are quite long when I do these Horizon stories. But we might as well get it all done.
This is shaping up nicely. Time for a change of pace, though. At least at first. The next segment is about Land Rover, and we'll be starting out with the Type 3.
Oh, great. This thing is going to be bloody slow. Drive like a boat. Even sounds bad.
Land Rover, the British sports utility vehicle. But before that, they were actual utility vehicles. Solid, tough trucks, unstoppable over almost any terrain.
In 400 yards,
Excuse me, before you keep talking, anyone that drives a Land
marks
Rover,
the point where that shift begins, and we'll be looking at what that meant.
anyone that drives a Land Rover Defender will say that they are not reliable and they rust and they leak and they don't start sometimes because of the immobilizer. That's a fact.
Land Rovers have taken on almost every task imaginable. They've been generators, tractors and ambulances. They've brought peace and carried medicines to disaster zones.
Peace.
They've even been buses.
Really? Have they?
Over
I was going to say no, they
500,000
haven't.
Series
But,
3s were
I
built,
don't know that.
and over 70% of those are still on the road today. They were extensively exported and built under license abroad. Belgium, South Africa, even Australia and New Zealand.
Not too
With a
sure this
robust
could be a
chassis
bus.
and signature Land Rover engineering, the Type 3 also marked the first time that buyers could choose interior options, like seat box protectors and cubby boxes. That trend continued, and by 1982, Land Rover were offering the county spec Type 3. Leisure drivers could choose from such luxuries as all-cloth seats, soundproofing and tinted glass. The trend was increasingly clear, and the future of the Land Rover was starting to take shape. If you squinted, you could already see the shape of the first sports utility vehicle, the Range Rover. While the stock Type 3 would never be particularly fast uphill, there is almost no hill that it couldn't climb, or down for that matter, if you put a proper winch on it.
Hey, that's throwing back to the Top Gear episode. That's cool. You guys didn't watch that Top Gear episode. It's pretty cool. Hammond drives, literally attaches a winch.
Series 3 was custom built for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It only had 1,892 miles on the clock when it was auctioned into private hands. And it was in perfect condition. It would be. After all, she trained as a mechanic in the 1940s and will likely remain the only royal able to strip and rebuild an engine.
Anyway, the Top Gear episode is where Hammond basically attaches a winch to the top of a dam and then winches a really old Land Rover Defender up a dam.
Along with the Range Rover, others
It's
would
definitely
follow.
interesting.
Discovery, Defender, and the Freelander. Each a more sophisticated and enjoyable utility vehicle. But none
Again,
of them
the Defender
were a replacement
leaks.
for the Type 3. They were a different kind of car.
Apparently there's a new Defender coming out soon. A 2019
the Type 3
Defender.
was arguably the first sports utility vehicle, an evolution of the design that would lead ultimately to this. The Bowler Nemesis, an off-road racing vehicle that turned into a production SUV, the Nemesis EXR.
Again.
It sports a turbocharged 5-litre Land Rover Jaguar engine, crammed into a carbon fibre chassis with integral roll cage. It even has the grille, headlights and rear lights from a Range Rover.
But is it a Range Rover? I guess we'll never know. Because I don't think she's going to tell us.
If you want to see what the Type 3 would be like if it ever stopped doing important things, this is it. And it's beautiful.
It looks a bit squished to me. I want to bank this in.
This is an all-terrain supercar. That's the only fair description for this. But that's what you get when you
Supercar.
build an SUV with Land Rover DNA.
Okay, we'll go with that. Alright, let's jump into the next story. Oh, I really like this car though.
Hope you're enjoying yourself. I know I am. It's great to be able to just focus on telling the story while someone else handles the driving for once. Let's get to the next one. This time, it's Lotus.
Yeah, Lotuses break down a lot. Again. Sounds nice though.
Lotus Engineering Limited began as many stories in British engineering do, in an old barn. The first
They actually
Lotus
did.
cars were offered as kits. You built them yourself. From 1962, they began to actually build the cars themselves. The Elan Sprint showed exactly what they intended to do.
Yeah, I just crashed this one into a tree though. Alright, let's keep on
Designer
going.
Colin Chapman famously said, "Adding power makes you faster on the straights. Subtracting weight makes you faster everywhere." He knew what he was talking about.
In 100 yards, turn right. In 100 yards, turn left.
Widely hailed as one of the greatest sports cars of the 1960s, the Elan would be closely studied and emulated, inspiring such masterpieces as the Mazda MX-5.
I can see the
Elan has
resemblance
all
from
the
that.
energy, style, and enthusiasm you would expect. Bold, quick, and fun. So much so that they put it in the name.
The wipers are funny though. Just like little, like really thin things. I swear, if they do a green, like a race arc,
The Elan
it's not
Sprint
racing green.
was a financial as well as an engineering success for Lotus.
These things break down a
validating
lot.
their approach to design and resulting in a whole family of light, agile roadsters. Which brings us to this, the Lotus Exige. It's heavier than the Elan, admittedly, but it's faster. Much, much faster.
Good. Oh yeah, this looks cool.
Touch
I
the
like
pedal,
it.
the Exige responds with instant, relentless acceleration, as you'd expect. With a 0 to 60 time of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 170 before upgrades and tuning, the Exige is uncompromising.
Again, these all sounds amazing. This is a game, and I'm saying it sounds amazing. Just listen.
And there's no power steering, so you can really feel the road. A genuinely thrilling drive, and one that isn't afraid to demand you take it seriously.
In 400 yards, turn left. Turn left.
I don't like it that the car demands stuff of you. I'm also actually going to fail this part of the mission because I haven't got there quick enough.
In 400 yards, you will arrive at your destination.
Oh no, never mind.
And with rumoured launches of 2 new cars in 2020, Lotus looks set to push the benchmark of the experienced sports car well into the next century.
Got 1 star. I hope so. I hope they fix their problems as well. Their reliability problems. 2 hours and 25 minutes in first place. It's not bad. Let's continue. Next chapter.
Done much rallying? Joke. We've all seen what you've been up to. We're doing the next bit on location. You'll see why when you get there.
Okay, that's my car, that's why. Alright, let's get there. We'll pretend like I didn't hit that Fiesta.
Arrive at your destination.
Well, you did not say anything about parking. Yeah, there we go. I wonder what next part of this mission is going to be there.
Ford.
Or is it a
That
Lancia?
most
Oh,
American
yes, Ford.
of cars. But the Ford Escort, oh, that's British. And more than that, the Escort would become for many synonymous with Group B. In the 70s, Ford had embraced that destiny so firmly that they'd begun their own championships to find new drivers. Drivers for cars like the RS 1800.
This car looks quite cool, actually.
This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine. That was not bad, but could we make it a little more majestic?
Well, I was trying to cheat the system, but it obviously didn't work.
This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine. We'll reset and take that section again.
Okay, fine, I'll stop trying to cut the course. I'll cut that first bit and then I'll go around the corners.
This was a car designed explicitly for rallying, with a powerful fuel-injected 1790cc Cosworth BDE engine.
That's what I was supposed to do the first time.
The RS 1800 brought home 17 World Rally Championship victories for Ford.
what's the next car? What's the new version? Is it the Focus? Is it the Mondeo?
So,
No,
of course,
it's something different.
Ford set out to design a better one. The RS200 Evolution was their answer. A purpose-built rally car designed to do one thing: win Group B.
It does look cool.
With
There
a
we go.
1.8 turbocharged Ford Cosworth BDT engine and all-wheel drive, the RS200 had perhaps the best suspension platform of any car of its era. The chassis was fiberglass from Reliant, and a massive Ford parts bin was raided to give the car that iconic look.
Smart boy, getting those 3 stars.
Ford built over 200 as part of the homologation requirements for Group B, so you can still find them, if you're lucky.
I think I cheated the system, but you know. Guys, right. How many of these have we got left? Not that I'm not enjoying it, because I am. Just want to know how many we got left. Oh, quite a lot. A few.
You know, I really like this car. Not that I'd want to drive it for too long. Squeeze yourself in there and let's see just how fast you can make it go. Which won't be
Oh, I've got to
too fast.
customize one of these.
But hey, I could be surprised.
I'm not even joking, I got one of these in this game.
The Peel
And I
P50 has the
customized it.
dubious honour of being the smallest production car in the world. A one-door microcar coupe, featuring a 42cc air-cooled engine, capable of a heinous 38 miles an hour. And a handle, so you can pick it up and carry it with you when you get to work. And keep in mind that this is the production version. The prototype had the single wheel at the front. Why would you think that was a good idea?
Because it's funny.
In 2010, though, production restarted at Sutton-in-Ashfield. So, if you'd like to own the modern incarnation of this, I suppose you can.
Jeremy Clarkson actually had one of those, and he picked it up and took it to work, basically. Which was funny as well. That was a Top Gear reference from me. Don't know, I do apologise. I do like Top Gear quite a bit, though. If you didn't know. That was a quick one. Quite literally. Wow. Slow car, quick mission. Level, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you'd call it.
Hey there! How about a car with some actual legroom and some actual speed? This section's about what happened when McLaren decided to make a road car. You're going to enjoy this.
Oh, these are nice. There was a thing where
The track and the road have very different requirements. For McLaren, that was a challenge they were more than willing to embrace. In 1988,
Basically,
they set out to create the finest sports car the world has ever seen. By 1993,
Wait.
they had achieved their
She
goal.
keeps talking.
And the honestly fantastic F1 was the result. 106 would be built across all variants, and it remains one of the very best road cars ever made. The F1 has no turbocharger. That would have compromised the driving experience. increased complexity, and resulted in turbo lag. The F1 is a naturally aspirated supercar, one of the fastest in the world, in fact. Everything about this car is innovative, from the carbon fiber monocoque to the central driver position. McLaren threw the book away when they designed the F1, then they wrote a better one. The F1's monocoque chassis is incredibly lightweight, only 100 kilos all told, which posed a significant challenge because carbon fiber and fiberglass aren't great insulators. So, McLaren lined the entire engine compartment with gold. McLaren's racing heritage is so deeply ingrained in this machine that when they took it to Le Mans in 1995 and faced off against purpose-built racing machines, they won.
Basically, right, there's a thing where you can have literally 3 people in the front. So you can go to the club and bring out 3 people.
To live up to, where do you go
There's
next?
a P1.
Well, you throw the book away again and write an even better one. The result is the McLaren P1, a hybrid electric sports car that stands head and shoulders above the F1.
This car is actually insane. Like, you need to see
the P1
spoiler.
GTR will hit 60 miles an hour in 2.4 seconds. That's 0.7 seconds faster than the F1. That's an eternity for a supercar.
At the roundabout, take the 3rd exit. Turn around when it is safe to do so.
Remember those problems with turbo lag? McLaren solved that with the hybrid drive. While the turbos build pressure, the electric motor drives the wheels. No turbo lag, just torque. And because it's a hybrid, it has an all-electric range. Running on batteries alone, that's 6.2 miles. A bit more if you're going downhill.
Saving the environment. One McLaren P1 at a time. Anyway. McLaren P1, very nice. McLaren F1, even better. Although it's the other way around, because technically the P1's newer than the F1. The F1 has that kind of like old style look with kind of still look modern.
I quite like sleeper
Oh
cars.
god.
Did Alex ever tell you the story of what we got up to in Colorado? There was this sleeper car competition, you see. Let's just say no one was ready for the Sunbeam.
The Vauxhall Sunbeam.
Lotus never quite let go of the upgrade game. So in addition to building their own supercars, they upgraded cars from other marques too. The Lotus Carlton was one such aftermarket upgrade. Lotus took a respectable 4-door Vauxhall saloon and turned it into a supercar. From the outside, there are a few signs that this is something special. Wider wheel arches, that sort of thing. But under the bonnet, that's where the magic starts.
They put a V6 in it. They put a V6 in the Vauxhall.
Engine capacity was increased to 3.6 litres, and
Yeah, they
twin
did.
Garrett T25 turbochargers were added. The engine block was reinforced, and new crankshafts were forged by Opel and machined in Germany.
At the roundabout, take the 3rd exit.
The tyres were widened, and the tyre compound from the Lotus Esprit was used. To handle camber change issues, they put in the self-leveling suspension from the Opel Senator. The only upgrade they didn't put in was an electronic speed limiter. All of this resulted in the Lotus Carlton, designated Type 104 by Lotus. a 177 miles per hour supercar, masquerading as a four-door saloon. Only 950
We have a roll
of these
cage in the
custom
back.
gems were built, and they've become something of a modern classic.
Doesn't surprise me, but I definitely wouldn't buy one. I don't know why, it just
The
wouldn't.
Lotus Carlton was an example of how to turn a saloon into a supercar. But that's not the only thing Lotus got up to. In 1979, Chrysler approached Lotus to create a strict rally version of their Sunbeam three-door hatchback. Lotus, as you might imagine, rather enjoyed the challenge. They took the rear-wheel drive hatchback and changed everything that matters. They stiffened the suspension, improved the anti-roll bars, and widened the transmission tunnel.
I want the 3 stars.
It almost makes you wonder if Lotus should do more conversion. That's a silly question, actually. Lotus should do more conversions. In fact, I'll call them right now.
Bet you wish you could call them out though. The only reason why I keep naming these is because I keep taking little shortcuts. Like, big shortcuts, I mean. By quite literally just cutting like half the course off. Which is interesting, but it seems to work. Right, let's jump straight into this one.
I honestly think these might be
Jag.
some of the most beautiful cars
It's
in
an
the world.
E-Type. It's got 3
And the
wipers.
story of how it came about is, well, really British. Get in the car and let's get this segment.
The E-Type?
Jaguar is a bit of a favourite of mine. The company is almost 100 years old and was originally founded to build sidecars for motorcycles. But this
I
is
didn't
the
know
car
that.
that really set the bar, I think. The 1961 E-Type. When he saw it, Enzo Ferrari called it the most beautiful car in the world. High praise indeed. He wasn't alone in his admiration. Accolades have followed this car ever since. It's been in movies, comics, games, and TV shows. Unlike some
It's in this
later
game.
cars in the mark, it wasn't just looks though. The E-Type was light and fast. It would do 153 miles an hour and stopped on innovative four-wheel brakes that were better than anything Ferrari or Porsche or even Mercedes-Benz had.
Very nice.
It was solid too, with a design based on the D-Type that won the 24 Hours of Le Mans 3 years in a row.
At the roundabout, take the second exit.
Anyone who owns an E-Type will tell you that the key to their reliability is to drive them regularly, as if you'd need the excuse.
If I had one of these, I'd drive it every day. Well, maybe not every day.
About 2,500 were built, and they're a common sight at auto shows, and surprisingly reasonably priced. All in all, an almost perfect Jaguar.
Please get the F-Type SVR out, please. I like the Jaguar F-Type SVRs. Yes?
The E-Type was the
Yes!
successor to the Le Mans winning D-Type. But what would that look like if Jaguar designed it today?
Oh, it's
In
convertible.
2013, Jaguar answered that question
That's the
with the
Project 7.
F-Type Project 7, a spiritual successor to the E-Type, and designed from the ground up to be the purest, most enjoyable Jaguar yet.
These things are rapid.
The car's heritage is proudly displayed in the gorgeous D-Type curves and the distinctive aero hunch behind the driving position. But like the E-Type, it's not just a pretty face.
Now I would buy one of these.
Powered by a 5-litre V8 supercharged engine. With a fully aluminium body, it's blisteringly fast. With a 0 to 60 speed of 3.8 seconds and a top speed of 186 miles an hour. A car as beautiful as this must surely have been a carefully authored design. Actually, it started as a sketch by designer César Pieri, thrown together one Friday in his free time.
Just a sketch.
Jaguar's design director, Ian Callum, saw the sketch in a thumbnail on César's computer during a meeting and asked him what it was. The rest is history.
It's quite recent history.
"250 Project 7s were built, as both a successor to the E-Type and as a celebration of Jaguar's victories at Le Mans.
Really, I'm gonna get 2 stars.
I think I speak for all of us when I say, thank heavens for César's Friday afternoon doodle.
I like the way it was just made up after a doodle, though. Like, just completely made out. He's just sat there in his living room and just bit paper, just doodles like one of the best looking cars. I don't know. Lego. Let's see what happens in this one.
We're almost done, but we saved the good stuff for last. A spot of rallying in the most British car of them all.
It's the Austin
Get in,
Mini.
strap in, and let's nail this one.
It's the Austin Cooper.
There is
These
one
are quick.
car built in Great Britain that is quite fairly considered one of the most influential cars of the century.
In 100 yards, turn left.
It's a surprisingly spacious little city car with a side-mounted engine. It's an icon of popular culture. It's been built on every continent where there's a car factory. It's the Mini. The Mini Cooper S was built to be a performance machine with deeper engines, twin carburetors, and front disc brakes. This scrappy little machine would go on to achieve more than 30 racing victories in the 1960s and 1970s. A Mini Cooper S flying number 37 placed first at the 1964 Monte Carlo Rally. Driven by Paddy Hopkirk and Henry Liddon, this was the last time an all-British crew would win the event. But not the last time a Mini would. At Monte Carlo in 1966, Minis took the first, second, and third positions. They were all disqualified because they had dimming headlamps, not because they were winning everything in sight. In 1999, the Car of the Century award was presented to the most influential car of the 20th century. The Mini came second. It was beaten by the Model T Ford. That's fair, I suppose. 5.3 million Minis would be sold, making it the most popular British car.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd get one, but...
And then in 2000,
what is this?
BMW resumed production of the Mini, breathing new life into the iconic marque. If the Mini of the 1960s had its sights set on the roads of Monte Carlo, the X-Rayed Countryman has its eyes on something a little tougher.
Yeah, all-terrain. Oh my god, this is massive.
The deserts and rough terrain of the Dakar, for starters. A wit once said that the only thing Mini in this monster was the pedal. That's rather missing the point, I think.
And the badge.
The X-Rayed Countryman is much, much bigger than the Mini Cooper. It has to be. A stage of the Dakar demands literally tons of gear. You could call it a tank. It does rather sound like one. When Mini's X-Rayed division set out to build this thing, they had one goal in mind: winning the Dakar. And they did, every year, from 2012 to 2015.
That's pretty impressive. So I gotta say that.
In 400 yards, turn right.
It's designed to be driven for 2 weeks over deserts and badlands, 5 kilometers above sea level. And it still handles like a hot hatch on a nice bit of dry airstream. Owners come and go. The heritage of a car like the Mini is more than who owns the keys to the shop. I fully expect to see Mini's wings flying for another century.
Indeed. Is that it? Is that everything? There we go. Another Horizon story down. Hope you guys did enjoy this video here. Hope you guys did enjoy the longer one. Obviously we did do like 48 minutes, almost an hour of recording. So hope you guys did enjoy. And hope to see you guys next time. Goodbye.